Hey, welcome back to another episode. I want to talk today about negative self-talk and what I have done to rewire my brain basically and my thoughts, and what I've been working on. So I think this will be really helpful for a lot of people. Okay, so um, I really started working on this in December of 2019. So almost 5 years ago. Holy cow. I really started working on this then. And it was the CEO founder of our company that actually was on a Zoom call with myself and some other reps. And we'd earned this call with him. And he had said that he was just really fed up with the negative talk that he was hearing and he wanted to do something to help change it. So, something that really worked for him was that he did no stinking thinking. And what I mean by that is he literally started deciding that for every negative thought or word that he said, he was going to replace it with 3 to 5 positive words, and he would say those 3 to 5 words outside, like out loud and out, so everybody could hear them, not just himself. And it may sound silly when like you're thinking in your head, like, I'm not worthy. And then out loud, you're like, I am worthy. I am so grateful that I am so good at this. I love myself and I'm so grateful for this, right? And so he just said it sounded kind of silly, but it really worked. And so I thought, why not? Why not try it? Like, what's the harm in trying it? So I'm going to look silly. Okay. I've looked silly before, right? And so you have to like really think about that. Like, um, the risk of having fun. Oh no, right? A lot of people are scared to act childlike, but it's actually in that childlike behavior and that silliness and that play that we grow and things come. And it's really how we attract things to us because people would rather be around somebody who's more childlike and having fun than somebody who's negative and always talking down on themselves or other people, or who are just really like a Debbie Downer. And so this was just a good like thing for me to start working on. And I had noticed that I had really been my own worst critic through the healing process and through my injuries to my spinal cord, and so and my brain. And so I was really having a hard time with this. This was something that was a big struggle for me, but I didn't want to be the only one sitting in the dark. Like, I'm just being honest. I was tired of sitting in the dark. So I started working on no stinking thinking and really started just doing it daily and became this daily routine. Pretty soon I noticed that my thoughts were shifting and they were changing because I just would catch myself saying or thinking something that wasn't healthy and then switching it up. And sometimes I could think of 3 words or 3 affirmations, and sometimes it would be, I would need 5. So, like, you have to figure out what works best for you, right? And so I started really working on that and honing into the reality that I was in control of changing my behaviors. I was in control. Like, this was something that I could control, my attitude, my gratitude, my perception was. Like, these are things I realized that I was responsible for. And to be honest with you, nobody had ever told me I was responsible for them, because I feel like we're in a society that really, unless you're doing personal development, you don't learn it, is my opinion, because they don't teach it in school. Like, they're starting to in like health class and things of that nature. I do notice my son's classes are stepping it up more, but when I was growing up, I did not see any of that, right? It was a lot of academics. And so, and I was an athlete, so my mom was really focused on sports, I'm not gonna lie. And so like I I really just didn't know how much I needed to change this. And I think that's what really stops people from changing it, is they feel like they are who they are, and if people don't like them, then that's too bad. And that's really the mindset that I had when I had started. But what changed was I was looking at the people around me on those Zooms, and I was getting in the room full of people that were working on themselves. So sometimes when you're sitting in the same room with people who aren't growing and who aren't working on themselves, you feel like maybe you're the one who's got the most personal development in the room, you should be surrounding yourself with people who are growing, with people who are more successful by how you view success than you, because you want something to stretch you. And when you're in a room with people who aren't growing, you're not being stretched. And what I mean by that is you're shifting your mindset, that shift in perspective, that shift in your language, the verbiage that you use to speak, to have conversations. You're having different conversations when you're in different rooms. And so when you're in a room full of people who aren't growing, the conversations are usually not going to help stimulate your growth. But when you're in a room with people who are growing and you're surrounding yourself with people who are wanting more and who are working toward those things of bettering themselves, it shows you areas where even you can grow. It gives you examples of how to go about it, or like what they're doing, right? Because success leaves clues. And so you just have to decide what does your surroundings look like. So for me, in the very beginning of my personal development, I got on every Zoom that was offered. We did a lot because we're a global company. We did a lot of things through Zoom. And so I got on every, live on social media from the platforms that they use to every Zoom they offered. And I got on every video, everything I can do, every training. And I like experienced burnout because I did so much. And so I don't recommend that. What I recommend is at least, get on at least one a week. If you have time and you want to do one every day, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that because it gives you a way to learn how to become consistent in your daily routine. And that's really what I noticed that those Zooms did for me. When I look back, they really helped me grow accountability and consistency. They really helped me learn how to create a schedule and a routine. They filled my cup with positive personal development and business ethics. They were led by people who were moving and shaking and growing and doing things and doing good things. And so I really took advantage of those when I was brand new, especially. And then I started hosting them for others, and I started really diving into becoming that leader, right? But it didn't happen overnight. It was something that I had to work toward by working on my thoughts, by working on my belief in myself. And so I borrowed a lot of people's belief in the beginning, until I could believe in myself. And then when I realized that I could do this too, and that I had actually had a lot of life experiences that would help me in becoming that leader, that mentor, that coach that people needed, right? And and so when you think about that, it's so important that we figure out who we are and who we want to become. I think the who we are isn't so much as important as the who we want to become is. We should always be striving to be our next best self. And I know that might sound crazy, but who you are now is nothing compared to your next best self. And your authentic self, your most authentic self is your best self. And by the more authentic you are, by being completely true to who you are, the more your thoughts are going to be able to be changed. When we are putting on the fake it till we make it kind of thing, I don't believe in faking it till we make it. I think that is one of the craziest terms of my life because I spent decades faking it until I made it, and I never made it. I just faked it along the way. And I was doing the fake it till you make it mentality. And I had all these layers of masks that I had just put on, but I'd never taken any of them off. And so I just put on a new mask every time I needed to be a certain personality, a certain way for people, right? A certain behavior or do certain things. Like even if I didn't want to do them, I just put on a mask. I know that sounds really crazy, but it's true. And then, like an onion, I had to unpeel those masks and just peel back the layers of my onion and take those masks off. And that was hard. If you've gone decades with having self-image issues and not loving yourself and really just doing anything and everything you can to self-sabotage. Um, it's really not easy, usually. I'm just going to be transparent for us to reprogram ourselves. And the reason why it's not easy isn't because it's hard. It's hard because we make it hard. It can be really easy and it can flow really easily and effortlessly, but we make it hard. We make it hard by not slowing down usually. Usually we're trying to hit it at 100 miles an hour and make it change, right? We're trying to make it happen. We're trying to force things. And what I've learned is it's really hard to change and to even change your thoughts or to rewire your words or to like really change that subconscious mind, right? That gut instinct that you have. It's really hard to change those things when you're trying to hit it so hard and you're trying to make it happen. Making it happen is temporary. Most people don't realize that making it happen is temporary. But when you are authentic and you are really taking a moment to pause and you are slowing down to speed up and you are being genuine with yourself, and instead of beating yourself up when you make the mistake or you have a setback, instead you look at that and you say, how much did I grow? What areas did I do good in? What can I learn from this? What are the good things I can learn from this, right? And these are the things that transform us. It's the stuff that we say to our inner self, our little child who's still in there, whether you believe it or not, especially if you've got some trauma, you're going to have an inner child that is struggling. Don't be afraid to ask your inner child, how can I help you today? How can I help you heal today? What can I do to make you feel better today? You're going to be amazed. You're going to feel and hear things when you slow down to speed up and you just listen to yourself. Your thoughts are powerful and they bring everything in. So you get to choose what you keep and what you reject. You can reject the negative thoughts. And that's what you're learning to do, is to reject those negative thoughts so that you're rewiring your brain, rewiring your heart, rewiring the cells, I feel like, in your body to just feel like an energetic match to who you authentically and truly are. And that is that future version of yourself that you're holding true to, that you desire to become. And so, who do you desire to become? Ask yourself, who is the person I desire to become? And that's what I'm learning, is who am I desiring to become? I haven't met her yet. I'm still working on grasping the potential, the just the abundance that she possesses and the just love. And I know that like I can hold her image and I see her and I know she is just so happy and joyful. And she's such an energetic magnet to everything she wants and desires and people. She is just meant to be in her around her. And she serves and she helps so many people. But these are just characteristics of her, right? But she is just amazing. And I just get so excited when I think about I get to be her right now. I get to take those feelings and emotions that I feel when I think about her, and I get to possess those right now, and I get to have those, and they're in my possession right now. I can hold them, I can feel them, I can see them. And I'm just so excited that I get to practice being her every single day of my life. That's how I'm rewiring my brain. That's how you can too. You get to practice being your most authentic self. Have genuine conversations. Enjoy sipping a cup of coffee and just relaxing. Don't feel rushed to go do everything. Learn to slow down, to speed up, and you will be called to do the work that you're supposed to do. You will have just these burning desires to do things, and it will be intentional work that's going to bring intentional results. And I think that's what I'm learning is I don't have to grind. I don't have to work myself to death. I can do things that I love doing and be authentic. And those things will just absolutely show up. And I'm just excited for it. I can't wait for the amount of lives I get to impact. And it really is about the service. It really is about the giving. Who can you serve and how can you give today? And so I'm just blessed to give this to you today. I hope you go and share it with somebody you love. And just know that we're going to talk more and more about this as I am growing more into it, just like you are. I hope you have an amazing week.